Rain, sleet, snow, Earth gets it all. But have you ever wondered what the weather's like in other places part of our solar system? If aliens on Mars exist, what would they endure? If we move to Mars, what would daily life look like outdoors? Keep watching to find out. Unbelievable weather on other planets. 16. The Great Red Spot. You've most likely noticed that large dot on the side of Jupiter. That is called the Great Red Spot, a high-pressure region in the planet's atmosphere. The pressure creates something called an anticyclonic storm, where the wind flow in the storm is the opposite direction from the flow of the region of low pressure. When that sort of stuff happens on Earth, it usually means it's wintertime and snow's coming. The Great Red Spot is located 22 degrees south of Jupiter's equator. Astronomers have observed the storm since 1830. However, earlier observations from 1665 to 1713 exist. If this was the same storm, that means this storm has been around for over 300 years. The storm measures 10,159 miles, or 16,350 kilometers in width, 1.3 times wider than Earth. No one knows why the spot is colored red, though some scientists theorize it has to do with the chemical effect the UV light from the sun has on Jupiter's clouds. 15. Red dust storms. The search for water on Mars almost seems like a pointless one when you think about how dusty everything is on the fourth planet from the sun. Storms do happen on Mars, but because of the lack of moisture, they're a little different than the ones that occur on Earth. Dust storms take place on Mars all the time. Although Mars's atmosphere is quite thin compared to Earth's, the atmosphere is still capable of producing strong winds. Most of the surface of Mars is rock and dust. The winds pick up these dry particles easily, thus creating a storm. Wind speed can reach 60 miles or 97 kilometers per hour. The storms can be so strong that they may even leave a dust haze on the whole planet for weeks. Summertime on Mars is typically when more massive storms occur, and they can only happen on the planet's southern hemisphere. 14. Heat on Venus. How hot does it get on the second planet from the sun? The average temperature on Venus reaches 864 degrees Fahrenheit, or 462 degrees Celsius, making it the hottest planet in our solar system and is much hotter than Mercury. Even though Mercury is closer to the sun, Venus maintains higher temperatures thanks to its atmosphere. Venus's atmosphere is very thick, about 100 times bigger than Earth's atmosphere. As a result, any heat from sunlight passing through becomes trapped onto Venus's surface. There's a reason humanity has plans for colonizing a place like Mars and not Venus. Aside from the heat, the thick atmosphere is mostly made out of carbon dioxide and clouds of sulfuric acid. More on that later. 13. The winds of Saturn. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system, after Jupiter. It is the sixth planet from the Sun, about 890.8 million miles away. Uranus has rings too, but Saturn is distinct with its many more rings surrounding this planet. You may have also noticed all the different bands and clouds on its surface. Those clouds are moving at varying speeds and are as fast as 1,100 miles or 1,770 kilometers per hour. On top of that, the winds blow in different directions. NASA announced that in 2006, the Cassini probe observed a storm in the South Pole that looked strikingly similar to a hurricane. The storm possessed a clearly defined eye wall, or a cyclone. It's an astonishing discovery considering scientists have not seen eye wall clouds on any other planet other than Earth. 12. A cold Uranus day. The seventh planet from the Sun is 1.74 billion miles away and has an orbital period of 84 years. Its composition contains bulk chemicals, unlike the bigger gas planets of Saturn and Jupiter. The coldest world in our solar system is Uranus, with temperatures falling as low as negative 371 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 224 degrees Celsius. Just glancing at this photo, it's difficult to imagine anything happening on this planet, yet it does have a weather system. Hurricanes are commonplace here, winds blowing clouds up to 560 miles or 900 kilometers per hour. Couple that with the cold climate, and Alaska seems like a tropical vacation in comparison. 11. The Great Titan Lakes. Titan is no planet. It is Saturn's largest moon and the second largest natural satellite in the solar system, with a radius of 1,600 miles or 2,575 kilometers. Out of all the moons we know of, Titan is the densest. Take a look at its blue surface. From what you see, it may not be surprising to learn that it rains here. In 2016, Cassini discovered a sizable reflective area near Titan's northern pole. Upon closer inspection, it appears that reflective spot is the location of many lakes and seas formed from liquid hydrocarbons. The lake area spans 43,330 square miles or 120,000 square kilometers. 10. It's raining acid. Aside from the climate that's hot enough to melt lead, there's a big reason not to move to Venus. When it rains on Venus, it pours acid. Due to sulfuric clouds, the rain that falls from them is acid. However, the acid does not reach the ground on Venus because it evaporates before it can get there. As for water, scientists have only detected trace amounts of it, ensuring you that the rain on the planet is nothing like what humans experience. People often call Earth and Venus twins because of their similar mass, density, and gravity. Think of Earth as the more reserved, friendly twin, who also has violent mood swings, and Venus as the constantly sarcastic and abrasive one. 9. The Great White Spot. Think monster-sized storms are unique to Jupiter? Think again! On Saturn, you'll find a little thing called the Great White Spot, the most significant tempest to ever grace this gas planet. Those rings store up a tremendous amount of energy. After a long time, decades in Earth years, that energy is finally released, creating a storm. First, the storm happens throughout the planet before converging together to form the Great White Spot. 8. Christmas on Mars. Even though we associate the color red with warmth, Mars proves it's anything but. The highest surface temperatures are around 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius during the summer, although the average is negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 62 degrees Celsius. At the poles, it can be as cold as negative 243 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 153 degrees Celsius, which is super cold. So cold that the poles are capped with ice, but not the same ice you're familiar with on Earth. Ice on Mars consists of water ice and carbon dioxide ice. Not sure what the Martians named it. On Earth, we call it dry ice. When it's summer in the North Pole, the ice evaporates and forms again during winter. In the South Pole, the ice persists all year round. So now we know there's ice, but what about snow? It's too dry for it to rain on Mars, yet recent studies show that Mars does form snow clouds, albeit carbon dioxide ones. 7. Rain on Titan. As we mentioned earlier, Titan is home to a bunch of lakes and seas. Where did those bodies of liquid come from? Rain, of course. Not traditional Earth rain, but liquid methane rain. When the methane clouds are as cold as negative 296.5 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 182.5 degrees Celsius, the clouds freeze into a liquid, allowing it to rain later. It doesn't rain everywhere. Most parts of Titan only see rain every 1,000 years or so. 6. Jupiter stripes. The stripes on this gas planet may look pretty, or like a chocolate milkshake, but they're anything but peaceful. Jupiter's jet streams cause those streaks to appear. On Earth, we only have 1 or 2 jet streams in each hemisphere. On Jupiter, it has at least 30 that race through the whole planet in opposite directions. They may reach speeds of 300 miles or 482 kilometers per hour. If you look closely, you can see that jet streams surround the Great White Spot. Those streams help the storm stay in place. Another interesting fact, all these weather factors make it so that diamonds rain down on Jupiter. How? There's an abundance of carbon in Jupiter's atmosphere. The storms on Jupiter turn the methane into carbon soot. When it falls, it hardens and turns into graphite, and then, finally, diamonds. 5. The dotted moon. Let's take our focus slightly off Jupiter and put it onto its moon, Io. It is the 4th largest moon in the solar system and was named after a figure in Greek mythology. Galileo discovered this moon in 1610, leading to the many important aspects of physics and astronomy, such as the development of Kepler's law of motion and the first measurement of the speed of light. The surface of this moon is covered in dots. All those areas are volcanoes. Io has hundreds of volcanoes on its surface, and they all respond to the gravitational fluctuations of Jupiter. Some of these volcanoes are as hot as 3,092 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,700 degrees Celsius when active. Other times, it's so cold that the volcanoes freeze. 4. More winds. We've talked a lot about winds on this list. It seems to be the preferred weather condition of the solar system. Even with all that, those winds pale in comparison to the ones that happen on Neptune. This planet is said to have the most violent gusts in the solar system, reaching incredible speeds of 1,500 miles or 2,414 kilometers per hour. The storms can swallow the entirety of our Earth. Why is it so extreme? Neptune's surface is relatively flat. With less friction, there's little to nothing slowing down the force of wind. 3. Dual weather. Now let's discuss the closest planet to the Sun, Mercury. With it being so close to our star, you'd think it'd be the hottest planet. We already said that Venus is, so what's up with Mercury? See, instead of a reasonably constant temperature like on Venus, Mercury is either really hot or really cold. Mercury lacks an atmosphere. Temperatures are as hot as 800 degrees Fahrenheit or 426 degrees Celsius when the sun is up. However, thanks to no atmosphere whatsoever, the planet cannot retain the heat. At night, temperatures drop to negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 180 degrees Celsius. 2. A red whirlwind. Mars is an interesting place. It might be snowing, or it's incredibly windy. Another weather pattern to look out for on the red planet is tornadoes. A dust devil on Mars can go as high as a mile during late spring. In this season, Mars is the furthest from the sun. Because solar heat convection currents power the winds on Mars, it seems reasonable that dust devils would slow down. They don't. The winds continue, with some dust devils growing as wide as 30 yards or 27 meters. Before we tell you number 1, we have a question for you. Now that you know what it's like elsewhere, if you had to leave Earth, which planet would you choose to live on and why? Let us know in the comments below. 1. The greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases are something most people think just happen on Earth. Most of us associate greenhouse gas with human pollution, but that's not an entirely accurate description. Here's a refresher from environment class. This gas absorbs and emits energy within infrared light. If Earth had no greenhouse gases, it would be very, very cold. However, we have a greenhouse gas problem from all sorts of pollution. This gas causes Earth to experience climate change or global warming. Also not good. Venus's thick carbon dioxide yields a lot of greenhouse gases, retaining heat from the sun and trapping it on the surface. Greenhouse gases are present on Mars as well. Earth, Venus, and Mars all have similar atmospheres, exteriors, and interiors. The most potent greenhouse effect occurs on Venus because of the high temperatures. Earth is next on the list, with Mars as last. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. For more content from us, subscribe to our channel and turn on that bell notification.